Vision Forward's In Focus team presents.
Hi, this is Luke Scriven here at Vision Forward. Welcome to another In Focus Tech Talk. In today's Tech Talk, we're going to be looking at some options that you have with your iPhone, which can allow you to have things on the iPhone read aloud to you. And of course, this can be very useful if you want to, for example, have your text messages read to you, or have internet pages read to you, or emails, or basically anything that you want to be read. And luckily, there's a number of different ways that we can do this. So let's jump in and take a look at how. Now, first of all, it's important to say that I am running the software version 13.6, and so these are the things which are currently available with that software version. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our settings, and from the settings, we have a number of different options. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to accessibility, and this is where we generally go to find all of the different accessibility options, including those for vision. So let's go to accessibility here, and we have a number of different options inside accessibility. Now, the ones that we're interested in today are going to be in the Zoom heading, and also in the spoken content heading. Let's start off with the spoken content heading. I'm going to press onto that. And we have a number of different options here now. So let's go through these one by one. So first of all, speak selection allows us to select an area of text and then have it read aloud. Sounds pretty obvious. Let's see if we can do it right here. So let's find some text that we can select here. I'll go ahead and go to my emails. Okay, here's an email with some text in. I'm going to hold down my finger and drag over the area of text that I want to be read. When we do that, we get a menu that pops up with some options, including copy, select all, look up. And we're going to go ahead and scroll that menu by pressing the arrow on the side. And the next option is speak. All I have to do now is press on speak.
Your subscription to the world's best recording technology magazine
And it's gone ahead and read that selected text. So that's super easy and it works very well. Now, in terms of people with a visual impairment, that is a little bit tricky because you have to be able to select the text in the first place, which does require a fairly fine level of vision there. So might not be the most useful for people with vision impairment, but it is an option. Now, the next option in our spoken content menu is speak screen. And what we can do here is swipe two fingers down from the top of the screen, and everything on the page that we're currently on will be read aloud to us. So let's go back to our email, and this time I'm just going to go ahead and swipe down with two fingers from the top of the screen.
If you are unable to view this message, please click here. Click here. Sound on Sound logo, the world's biggest and best recording technology magazine subscription bundle. One iconic magazine, 4 great ways to read it, important your...
Now, when we do that, it automatically starts to read everything, and it will continue to read. And also a control panel appears on the screen with options for rewind, forward wind, pause and play, and also voice speed. Now, those icons are fairly large, but again, you do have to have some vision in order to be able to access those. And also, if you don't touch any of those icons, they will kind of minimize, and they go to this kind of little square that sits on the side of the phone, and that becomes kind of transparent. So that can definitely be tricky to see. So there's definitely some visual issues there. But if you just want to have everything on a page read aloud, then it's pretty easy just to go ahead and do the two finger swipe down and listen to it all be read aloud to you. Okay, let's go back to our spoken content menu, and we're going to go down to speech controller. And we have a button which will allow us to turn on the controller. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And the controller is this little square that sits on the side of the screen. You can drag it around if you want to different places on the screen, depending on your preference, but it will always be kind of stuck to the side. And it does go see-through when you don't use it for a while, which is kind of tricky visually, but there we go. So what we can do with this, a couple of things. We can tap on it, and it will open up the menu. Now, on the left of the menu, there is a pointing finger symbol, and if I tap on that, it will allow me to do touch to speak. So now I've got this on, anything that I touch will be read aloud to me.
Books.
So I just tapped on the books icon on the screen, and that was read aloud to me. Once it's finished reading, then the touch to speak will be turned off again. So if I want to read something else, I have to go ahead and tap on that touch to speak icon again, and then tap on the thing I want to read.
Mail, 154 unread emails.
And so on and so forth. So that's great. Also, when I have this controller on, if we go back to our email again, that wasn't our email. Let's try this again. If we go to our email, there we go. Then we can long press on the controller, and then when we let go, it will read everything on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and long press.
If you are unable to view this message, please click here. Click here. Sound on sound logo.
And it went ahead and started to read the whole page. So we have the 2-finger swipe down that we can use. This is just another way to do that if we have the controller turned on here. Now, actually, it's worth bearing in mind, this is the speech controller. We're going to be looking at a different controller shortly. So not to make things too confusing, but there are 2 different controllers. But yeah, if we have the speech controller turned on, we can do tap to speak, and we can also have the entire page read to us. But that controller is not particularly accessible visually, unfortunately, and so it's not necessarily the ideal tool for people with vision loss, but it's there. We can also, if we go into our spoken content menu, we can also choose to have content highlighted as it's read aloud. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And you can choose what is highlighted, whether it's sentences, whether it's words and sentences. You can also change the color of the highlighting. It's pretty comprehensive, which is nice. Okay, so let's switch back to our email and give this a try. So we'll do that, switching back to our email, and now let's do a 2-finger swipe down and have it read to us, and we should see some highlighting here.
From Sound on Sound, address 5:09 a.m. to Luke, SOS subscription renewal, 3 issues to go. If you are unable to view this message, please click here. Click here. Sound on Sound logo, the world's biggest and best recording technology magazine subscription bundle. 1 iconic magazine, 4 great ways to read it. Important your subs.
And indeed, we did see some highlighting there as it was reading. So that can be nice. It can help us keep track of where the phone is reading from, as long as that we have enough vision to see those highlights. Definitely good for example, people with dyslexia or something like that, who might benefit from a feature like that. Now, we can also do some typing feedback as well. And so while we're typing with the phone, we can have it speak back the letters that we're currently on. And this is without turning on voice over the screen reader. So this would just be for when we're typing. So let's go ahead and turn characters on, for example. And now we'll go ahead and open up our a text field somewhere. So let's see, we can go to our messages and let's create a new message here. So now hopefully when I put my finger on the keyboard,
F.
And now it's going to say the letter as I press it.
G. H. Y. T.
And that's pretty nice. Now it doesn't actually say the letter until I let go of it.
F.
But it does allow me to check that I've definitely typed the correct letter without having to turn on VoiceOver. And for a lot of users, VoiceOver can be quite a lot to take on board because it's speaking everything. And if you're not blind or very low vision, you might not necessarily need VoiceOver. So this is a nice option to get some feedback without having to turn on VoiceOver. So definitely approved of. Now let's take a look at another way to have the phone read to you, which is a bit more accessible to people with vision loss. And this is by using the Zoom controller. So we're going to go back to our accessibility menu and we're going to go into Zoom. And we're going to scroll down until we find Zoom controller. And then we're going to go ahead and turn that on. Now the Zoom controller looks like a circle on the screen, which can be moved about to anywhere on the screen. And in the Zoom controller menu, we have various options to set it up how we want it. Now, I'm just going to have a look at the speaking option for the moment, although you can also use it to zoom, just like the name implies. So I'm going to set it up so that when we tap on the Zoom controller once, it will turn on touch to speak. And so, or speak on touch. So let's go ahead and set that up. We can also change the color and the opacity of the Zoom controller. I like to set it to a nice red because that's a pretty good color to be able to see. And idle opacity means when you're not using it, how clear, how see-through it goes. I like to set that to 100%, which means that it will never go see-through, so it will always be bold. So when you've got this red and this bold, it makes it easier to see. Now we can move the controller around just by dragging it around the screen. But it's good to kind of put it in a position and then leave it there. Whatever screen you go into, it will be in the same place. And I have it set to tap once and then have it read aloud. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on the controller. And then we'll tap on an app here.
Safari.
And it read the name of the app aloud to us. This can read anywhere. So if we're in our text messages, for example, let's go ahead and find a text message here. I'm going to tap on my controller, then tap on the text message I want to be read.
Your text message. Yeah, probably in like an hour or so. 10:05 a.m.
So it told me that I sent it, and it told me the time it was sent, and it told me what the message said, which is excellent. Let's go to Safari here, and let's see if we can find something here. We'll go to cheese.com, and hopefully that website will have some text that we can read on it, all about cheese, which is always tasty. Okay, yeah, so this website's got a bunch of text on it. To read the text, we can tap on the controller, and now just tap on the area of the text we want to read.
Cheese is nutritious food made mostly from the milk of cows, but also other mammals, including sheep.
If we tap on the controller while it's reading, it will stop the current reading. Now bear in mind, each time you tap on the controller and tap on what you want to read, it will read that block of text. So if you have 4 paragraphs on the screen, for example, you have to tap on the controller and then tap on each paragraph individually, because each paragraph is considered to be a block of text. And so you do kind of have to find the text that you want to read, tap on the controller, tap on the text, and do that for each bit of text. But don't forget, you also have the 2-finger swipe down option that we looked at previously if you want to read the entire page. And so I think using the controller and using the Zoom controller, that is, and using the 2-finger swipe down, those are some pretty powerful tools for reading off of your phone without having to turn on VoiceOver. Well, thank you very much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about some accessibility features on the iPhone. And if you have any questions about using the iPhone or any other assistive technology related questions, feel free to get in touch. You can call 414-615-0103. You can email infocus@vision-forward.org and visit our website vision-forward.org. If you did like the video, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps. We just hit 400 subscribers and I would love to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. So hopefully that's not asking too much, and you guys can help us out with that. But we release new videos every Friday, so do keep tuned. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.